Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la banawi Yahweh Alahai Noah Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Hakodash, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawashai, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawashai, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawashai, Bahasham Rakha Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of the same body and affiliate camps. Now, in the UK, with the see, Muslims have been coming in a large influx, okay, a lot from the West Asia, which is known as the so-called Middle East, okay, as well as India, Pakistan, Syria, basically all so-called Muslim countries. And Muslims will not say it, right? But their underlying goal is to basically make the whole world a Muslim planet. And they do want to impose their ways upon the Western world, you know? And then you got the likes of the English Defence League, the EDL, right? That oppose their ways, because a lot of the groomers, the child groomers, the grape gangs, they'll drug a girl, because a lot of them follow their Quran to a T. So they're very, they'll deal with girls who are 12 years old, because in their eyes, if a woman is not covered up wearing what do you call that? What the black bed sheet thing? The way all the woman's covered up head to toe. If a woman is wearing short skirts and she drinks and she's loud, she's talkative, and especially if she's a non-Muslim chick, right? And especially if even if she's a brown girl or whatever, but she's like or another nation, or definitely of a so-called different religion, they use her. They basically say that they keep their own pure, right, for the most part, but they'll deal with women of other nations, and they also have a lot of prostitute rings as well, because the biggest criminals, right, next to the so-called white man, the Edomite, are Muslims, all right, especially here in the UK, Pakistani men, all right, because they have a they marry their first cousins. It's like, you got dogs. Now, if a dog has children, pups with its sister, you call it, the dogs will come out somewhat fucking crazy, right? Pardon my French. And a lot of these Muslims marry their first cousins, like direct lineage. I don't, like, for example, marrying their there'd be two brothers, right? Okay, like, let's just say you got a brother and you have a son and your brother has a daughter, and those two young children get married. I mean, that's fucking out of order as far as I'm concerned, I mean, that is very, very, very close. And a lot of these Muslims do have a lot of health problems and a lot of diseases as well. And that's because of the close interbreeding as well. And that's documented, right? But that aside, the Lord did say Ishmael is going to be a wild man. And even though a lot of these guys are Elamites, okay, who would be the Persians or the Iranians and some East Indians and some Pakistanis, for the most part, they're Elam, okay? Or Bengalis, Bangladeshis, or Sri Lankans are Elam. But the ones that are Muslims are a little amplified, more crazy, because they've got that Ishmaelite spirit because of that dirty Islamic religion, right? And they live in the West, they like, see what it is with these Muslims. They like the West, right? They like the so-called freedom, but they want to have their Sharia law. Now, if Sharia law was imposed, these Muslims, right, wouldn't even really like it, right? But the thing is, they want to impose that. But nevertheless, I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a backdrop how these Pakis are, because I can't stand them, right? Along with these crackers, okay? Now, what they're trying to do, Bradford City in up north in England is a very, very heavy populated Pakistani Muslim area, right? And Edomites can't stand these Pakistanis because they don't integrate into society. They have their areas all They call them ghettos or whatever. They're not really ghettos. They're just Muslim areas. They have their own stores and shops. They have women's clothing places. Eh, obviously with Muslim gangs, they also have like a lot of drug dealing as well. And the way they see it is if they're selling drugs to other nations, they're making their money. They don't really care. You know, I mean, Islam is basically like Satanism. It's like the Alistair Crowley thing. Was it do that? Was it what did he say? Alistair Crowley saying? Is it um, basically do what you want to do, right? What does Alistair Crowley say? Salaki, I forgot his saying. I'm trying to quote it right. What? Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So basically, do what the f you want. That's what they're about. I mean, there's no law or structure there. Okay, they claim it. They want their Sharia law, and what's Sharia meaning? Sharia is Islam's legal system. It is derived from the Quran, Islam's holy book. Holy books, unholy, the unholy Quran, as well as the Sunnah and Hadith, the deeds, sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. And Angel Gabriel did not come to him. All right, that was a demon that jumped into his ass. That's why he's having convulsions. That motherfucker couldn't even read. Fucking Muhammad. Salaki, I just can't stand this religion. Can't stand these people. All right. Okay, and you got the likes of the EDL that are up in arms. This combined with, because it's a lot of the English Defence League, a lot of those Edomites are really heavy against Islam. Okay, because they are seeing the changing face of their country. It was okay to a certain degree when you had skinheads in droves in areas where there was a few brown families, West Indian, Indian, whatever, right? Back in the day. Okay, so they could impose their terror. Now those areas are being overrun, the way these Edomites overran different parts of the world, right? Now they're worried because, and then on top of that, a lot of these Muslims don't integrate. They don't drink. Um, they don't want to you know, sort of like socialize with Edomites and stuff like that. They want to keep to themselves, you know. And well, this is what the Edomites say. And a lot of these Edomites are angry because a lot of these so-called white girls are being groomed by Muslim gangs, and they're pointing out the fact they're making that differentiation between other people from the east that are brown. That okay, it's mainly Muslim Pakistani gangs, and the leader of the EDL, the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, even states himself he's not hating on everyone, he's hating only against the Muslim population, only them. And but then in his crew or in his followers of EDO, he got ex skinheads. They're in their 50s or 60s. They got their heads shaved and all that. They were, you can tell back in the younger days. They were younger skinheads, right? He's got a large following, so it's a mixed bag with them. Basically, it's like a pressure cooker about to blow, where these Edomites are fed up of the changing face of their country, because England is a very small island, right? You can fit England into Texas 5 times, okay? And London is, I'm quite blown away. Growing up as a child in the 70s and 80s, you go to London, you caught the train back then. It was like a lot of Edomites here and there. Now when you catch a train now, right, it's like just full of every brown nation under the sun. You know what I mean? Which isn't a bad thing, but but it's like because you got a lot of Indians, Pakistanis, or Latinos, a lot of so-called Arabs, and what else? Bengalis, Sri Lankans, and other nations. A lot of Eastern Europeans as well. Okay, so and if you when you catch a train and you look at some of these Edomites, these pale Edomites, these ugly pale pigskin Edomites that are from here, the UK, you could see the anger brewing in them. They're all red and they're pissed off, and they're looking around everywhere, saying, "Hey, there's no one that looks like me. I'm outnumbered here. I'm the odd one out." I walked past the school where my children used to go, and there was an Edomite woman that beat the hell out of a Somalian woman, and and she was, and then she also said prior to beating the lady up that her white children are the only white children in the class. You know, so basically these Edomites are getting to the point where they're fed up, and then you got these Muslims, right, that are trying to impose their Sharia law. They're trying to take over certain seats during the elections. They're trying to get there, basically trying to create a Muslim world everywhere, right? In every part of the world, in every country. All right. Let's just play a little bit of this.
Legal action. An imam in Birmingham is calling for legal action on the part of the government.
Okay, now Birmingham, there's parts of Birmingham that are heavily Muslim populated as well. There's a lot of places like Aston and places like Aston and certain parts of Birmingham, which is northern England, which is about an hour and a half drive from London, are really heavily populated with Muslims as well.
To take legal action against this grammar school teacher. So let's have a listen and a watch of this. We'll go to Ben Habib first, and we'll play you the clip as soon as it's ready. Ben, hello.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Now, this situation, I think this Batley Grammar School teacher has been through a terrible ordeal. He's a father with kids and a wife. He's had to change his identity. He's still in hiding because he had the temerity to try to educate his pupils. Now, the Muslims community around that school said that he blasphemed against the Prophet. But this is a freedom of speech issue, is it not? Now, we have this head imam at the Green Lane Mosque in Birmingham is now laying into that teacher and saying that the government must take legal action against him. Let's just watch him now.
And it is also an indication. It is an indication of the failure of some of the parts of the education system in the UK. If the teacher, someone who is entrusted, someone who is expected to promote British values, someone who is expected to promote respect and tolerance, if the teacher himself does such kind of act, then this is not good for the society. And it indicates the failure and the weakness within the system.
Ben, that was Sheikh Zakiullah Salim. He's at the Green Lane Mosque in Birmingham. He's saying that this is that what the teacher did is against British values. I would suggest that what he's saying is against British values, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a number of things to unpick here, I think, Kevin. The first is the point you absolutely rightly made, which is in this country, and the heart of freedom and the heart of our democracy is the right of free speech. And there's no way that teacher could be accused of spreading hatred or inciting violence, or forget about take that back about spreading hatred. There's no way that teacher could be accused of inciting violence against a minority Muslim group by discussing the Charlie Hebdo or showing the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. That is an educational matter for the teacher to make a decision on. And it was very topical, I think, back in 2020. Was it 2015 that the Charlie Hebdo shootings took place?
Something like that.
And yeah, 2015. And, it's absolutely right that people should be taught what happened in Paris and the result of those cartoons, and for both sides of the debate, so that there's open discussion about it. And there's no way this particular teacher could be found wanting of the law by showing these cartoons.
I'm just wondering, Ben. I'm wondering, Ben, what it is that the imam thinks that this teacher should be brought to book about. The authorities must take legal action. About what? What is he supposed to have done? If they want to say blasphemed, I'm sorry, but we got rid of our blasphemy laws. This isn't the medieval ages anymore. So what else do they think that he could be have legal action launched against him about?
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's the really pertinent point, that the Imam can take offense by what is actually a perfectly valid expression of British values, the right to discuss anything for that matter. What he's seeking to do is to impose Islamic law on the United Kingdom, because under Islamic law it is blasphemous to show an image of
Sharia law.
There you go. Under Sharia law, it's blasphemous to show an image of the Prophet. Yeah. But we don't practice Sharia law in this country. Yeah. And what we're seeing increasingly, Kevin, is multiculturalism practiced in silos and schisms across our society, abutting up against each other. And a real difficulty I find in the United Kingdom with the speed at which immigration has taken place, the speed, therefore, at which our society has been asked to adapt, the inability of our society to adapt at that speed, and this kind of confrontation that is welling up between various parts of the United Kingdom.
I mean, I think the thing... Sorry, carry on. One last point.
Yeah. It's a very, very worrying development that we can't go about expressing ourselves freely, teaching freely, without fearing a backlash of the sort.
I think it's kind of worrying as well, Ben, that this Imam seems to believe that some kind of British law has been broken here. Well, it might break Sharia law, but no British law has been broken here.
Okay, so so even Ben Habib, probably so-called West, probably Syrian or something like that. So they use a so-called Muslim here as well to sort of talk. See, Edomites are very careful as well that they use a Muslim guy to sort of like talk about the fact that this country isn't under Sharia law, and he's also mentioning the fact, which it isn't, and neither will it be. Where he's also talking about the changing face of the country and the speed that it's happened, and the fact that you got to like walk on eggshells around people of other nations in your own so-called country. Okay, we know the history of England and all that. Jake used to rule here, but we're talking about it right now in terms of the fact that these Edomites are pissed off. Okay, and this is just a tidy version of it. You got the EDL, the English Defence League, that got harder, but then you got the racist groups. Okay, right, the skinhead gangs, the racist groups, which are still there, that are tired. Okay, and they want someone to blame. All right, they want someone to blame. And it's going to get real heated up here, man. Seriously, it's getting to that point where the government is obviously doing it by design. They're letting these heathens come in, and they're letting them come in droves. They're filling up the hotels with these sleeper cells in terms of soldiers that are gonna, get triggered when martial law kicks in. Okay, you got a lot of the police officers here in the UK wearing tactical gear, right? And then on top of that, you got Muslims. Where they haven't won the election. What happened here was this guy, Safra Siddiq, won a seat in the local elections in Bradford. It wasn't a huge win, but all over Twitter, they're saying that he's done is a major victory. He got a little seat. That's all it was. It's not a major victory yet, but it's being so amplified on Twitter that the Edomites are getting pissed off. So basically, there's basically the Muslim population are trying to get a foothold, are trying to like basically stamp out the English way, the British way, British freedoms. Okay, and this is all done by design. All right. And the Muslims think they're going to have a chance to, rule over this world, but they're not gonna, or rule over this country to start with, but they're not gonna. And also at the same time, on the other side, on the flip side, Esau, the so-called white man, is doing the migration thing by design, taking away certain freedoms by design, using scare tactics on the media by design. Why? To amplify 2nd Esdras 15:16, okay? Where nation's going to fight against nation, all right? They're going to go against each other, and it's going to blow up, Okay, it's going to be blood, running down these streets. Okay, let's check this. Where's that video I was watching? Independent Rizwan Salim elected to the Bradford City Ward in last week's local council elections after calling out the Labour Party over the war in Gaza. This is, when was this? The 5th of May, 2024. And they all look like damn characters, don't they? What's this guy's name? Rizwan Salim. Okay, so who's this guy here at the top? Congrats on Safraz Siddiqui. Safraz Siddiqui is the name written here. On X, formerly Twitter, the video was shared with captions such as Bradford Islamic Party won, coming soon to every town and city nearby. Be afraid, you should be. Another iteration claimed Islamist Party wins election in Bradford, UK, it's just the beginning of the end. Scare tactics they're using. The same video was also shared with text that read, Congratulations to Safraz Siddiqui, local BD7 winner. I'm assuming, yeah, that's their postcode. B standing for Birmingham. BD7 winner. Islamist Party wins. The postcode for Bradford. BD7 winner. Islamist Party wins Bradford UK election. A similar post about X in Spanish has garnered over 1,037,900 views. Yeah. Archive versions of posts sharing the clip can be found here and here. On Facebook, the same video was shared with an Islamophobic caption, claiming that victory for the Islamist Party would mean dark times for the UK. All right. So the Muslims are trying to get a foothold. All right. They were trying to change what they're trying to do. This is saying that these guys have. They're trying to change the world from Dar ul Harb to Dar ul Islam, which is D. Let me just go into the spelling of it. Dar. I remember reading this years ago. Arab to it was something like this years ago because I've been knowing about these. Okay, yeah, this is what they're trying to do because there's something called Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is like some kind of underground group, and their goal is they were paying Muslim youngsters because I remember when I was at college and university to get all non-Muslim girls, they were given incentives. I mean, back in the 90s, £2,000 per girl, to put them, to get them drunk and high and put them in porn and use them and, to turn them out and stuff like that. And if you get one that's decent, so-called decent, then convert her to Islam. So they can basically breed breed these women out, and so the whole world could be Muslim. This is what they're trying to do as well, as well as they use their own Muslim women to befriend non-Muslim girls to so they can be converted as well. And but the white girls, the so-called white women, they use them as straight like prostitutes, straight up. Okay, and this is what they're trying to do. What is the meaning of Dar Dar al-Harab, Dar al-Islam? In the jihadist mind, all right, jihad means war. In the jihadist mind, Dar al-Islam refers to a land ruled by a Muslim ruler, and the Sharia is held as the rule of the land. In contrast, a land is considered as Dar al-Harab when it is ruled by a non-Muslim, or when the Sharia is not recognized as a rule of the land. So it's Dar al-Harab right now. And what they're trying to do is take it to Dar al-Islam. That's what their goal is, all right, in terms of Sharia law. Okay, and this is their goal. And even though these guys have a small foothold, because Siddiqui Khan, who's a major player in politics here in London, okay, even though Rishi Sunak is not a Muslim, he's a brown face. So the hatred towards people of color is extending high. It's really reaching to a boiling point. And if you go to all these kind of videos about changing faces here in the UK, how the UK used to look 50 years ago, how it looks now, they're hating on everyone. So-called Elamites, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans, Latinos. I've seen a couple of Latinos in Ireland. There's a Latin Jake, I believe. They didn't show his face. He was speaking to them, saying, "I pay my taxes and this, that, and the third. I'm allowed to live on the street." And these cracker bitches, these Edomites, were telling him to leave the country and go, because obviously he's a man of color. He's probably one of them darker Latinos. Right, and also, they're hating on the West Indians, saying go back to your country, go back on the banana boat you came on. They're saying the same thing to the Africans and the Hamites as well. We don't care about the heathen, but they basically Jake. They're having a go at Jake as well. So anybody that's brown is going to be a target very soon. But right now, things are so-called civil at the moment. But civil unrest is nigh, and Esau's, amplifying it with these civil war movies and putting the term civil war everywhere. They're using these quotes, they're showing these things in movies, these, what's that movie trilogy, what's it called again? Purge. Is it Purge? Is it trilogy or whatever? And there's several movies they've made, they're putting that out there in the atmosphere, they always show Jake as a target. Jake being sacrificed. Like one of them, the Purge movies, where they show the elder Jake being juked up and sliced up because his family needed money, and he sacrificed himself for $100,000. So the way they see it, Jake is just like a what does Issachar do during certain holidays where they have like a donkey hanging? And they beat the hell out of it. I don't know what they call it. What's it called? Okay, I don't want to deviate. Okay, they're basically just using you Jakes, as a punching bag. But the heathen are going to fall into it too, because if you're a person of color, or you're not pale pig skin like these rat Edomites, okay, with a so-called English name, right? You're going to be targeted, all right. And even if you do have a so-called English name, you're still going to be targeted if you look different, all right. And the same, basically it's going to blow up. And it's getting to that point. Okay? Let's just go to one scripture. I'm going to read the whole bit. 2 Esdras 14, all the way to 17. 2 Esdras 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning destruction. 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. 16, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're not going to care about you politicians, you people that are higher up, because a lot of these Edomites are blaming the government. A lot of these Edomites are homeless. A lot of these people are living in filth. A lot of these people can't pay their rent. Okay, and they need someone to blame. And even if it's a fully Edomite area, they're going to still blame you migrants for taking the jobs. Okay. And I mean, I was watching a video on immigration back in the 60s when the West Indians and Indians came over here. They were about 2% of the population, but they were doing 40% of the work because they were doing the work you cracker Edomites didn't want to do. Okay. And at that time, they were part of the British Empire. The UK was a hub for people of the British Empire, the West Indies, in India, and other parts of the world to travel to and fro. They fight in your wars for you crackers. They do the work that you don't want to do. Okay? Jake works hard. And I'm talking to Jake, I'm talking about Jake of the 12 tribes, even including the Israelite foreigners. They work hard. They get a little bit of foothold. They have a few nice things. Okay? But they have to go above and beyond to get it. But you damn devils, always complaining about everything. You just want to moan and complain and bitch. But you know what? It's the start of your ending now, all right? And it's going to get worse for you devils. Okay, let's get back to the scripture. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, and that's going to be martial law troops. And that's when these so-called migrants are in these hotels they're being brought in by design, because a lot of them not even coming with their wives and children. They're just young men. Okay, and don't get it twisted. Just so you see a guy with a pot belly thinking he's only about 5'6" or 5'7". That guy's probably like a trained fighter or something. Some of these guys may look out of shape or whatever, but some of these guys that are out of shape or short, have that, that are tough also, And then you got the guys that are in shape that are tough also. So there's gonna be some things going down, man. All right. And so it's a twofold situation with these guys that are these migrants. Some of them are sleeper cells in terms of soldiers. Some of them are actual legit migrants, but they're being given benefits, up the yin yang, where a lot of these Edomites can't even pay their rent, but these migrants, right, are being kept in decent hotels. All right, even if it's not even a 5-star or a 4-star or a 3-star hotel, it could be a 2-star hotel, but it's still a roof over their head, and it's still better than what these crackers got. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay? And that's what's coming. All right? Men are going to be afraid. All right? Because, everything's dying on this side, man. Okay? There's no zest for life anymore. People don't want to do these things like they used to 30 years ago. Go out and about. You try and push yourself to go out and about just to do something different. But for the hopeful elect, there's nothing wrong with going out and about and doing something different, because, it does get a little boring sometimes, just doing what you got to do and just sitting at home. But sometimes that's what you feel like doing, because I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when I'm at home, I feel like I'm waiting for my dad to come and pick me up, like I'm at school. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like that feeling. We're just waiting on you, how shy. It's like that feeling. It's like, I'm going to wait on the Lord, man. I'm just going to wait. You do what you got to do, right? And sometimes you do things just to make it different, even though you push yourself, I don't want to do that. You say, you know what? Let's just do it. Just to do something different, like go in a different area or do something different, or maybe go and see a show if there's something going on. I don't do clubs no more, because the music is trash. Don't go out like you used to, because that kind of zest, that mirth is gone, and you don't feel like going out. It's crap everywhere, right? So, wherever Jake goes, Jake wants to look clean, look sharp, and nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, it's like everything is like, yeah, and it's just like you want to get through each day, because each day is you're one day closer to the kingdom, and you just want to wait. I'm just gonna wait on the Lord. It's like you're at school, you're a child, and you're waiting for your big brother, and that big brother's your Shai, man. Or you're at school and you're waiting for your big brother, and or your father. Your father's Yahweh, and our big brother's Shai, waiting for our father and our big brother, man. Yahweh Bashem Shai. That's the feeling that I'm getting. That's the feeling that I've got. But sometimes you need to just to sort of diversify your days as well, because going out and about makes you more circumspect as well, and you know what's going on out there as well to a certain degree. So you do need to mix it up. Not all the time, but here and there, whenever you need you need to, or you feel like you need to, or you know. But anyway, that's where we're at. Incidentally, this was May the 9th, man. There's some destruction going on in America as well. Look at these tornadoes. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, man. Race riots are gonna come. Jacob's trouble is gonna kick. You know, then the Lord did say, I mean, in the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yeshai, Apostle Tahar did coin this year, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Because Jacob's going to be the prime target, but everybody else, because most of the world is brown, is going to fall into it too, especially those brown people that are in countries conquered by Edomites, even though it wasn't theirs in the first place, such as the UK, America, Australia, Spain, France, wherever, different parts of Europe. Okay, and it's going to kick off, especially in the strongholds of Esau, which will be America, ground zero, and definitely England, and definitely Australia. All right, those three. All right, because there's a heavy Muslim population, because the Muslims are the only ones that impose their ways. Okay, the way the so-called white man likes to impose their filthy ways on people, the Muslims are just as bold as them. And see, when Esau gets a taste of his own medicine, they don't like it. I hate these Pakis too. Don't get it twisted. They're quite, they're like that. They like to be bold and impose their ways, and talk about their religion and their fastings and feasts and all that shit. They always do that. Like I don't want to know about it. I always tell them I'm not interested. Because they always try and convert you. Man, it's gonna pop off, man. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh Bashem Meshai, Bashem Rakak Vadash, Moaf Babal Kwam Yashwala Shalom.